Good Sunday evening, baseball fans, gamers, whatever. How you doing? Hope everybody had a great day. I just sat in on Dave Gardner's chat called "So Many Games." It was really good. Good number of people in there tonight. I think about like 75. It peaked out as or something. Dave's chats are always really good. I mean, so are the games that he does, obviously, but yeah, really engaging, really fun. So looking at that countdown to Pocket Pennant Run 3. So December 1st. So be able to order that on Friday. Hey, bonjour, mon ami. I see you're streaming on Twitch. How are we going to get you over here on YouTube? Because that way, most of the community, you can link your channel. You can link your channel to Twitch here anyhow. But World's Worst Gaming are doing some Warhammer End of Time, Vermintide, End of Times. Great stuff. I love Warhammer. So good to see World's Worst Gamer jumping on and doing some broadcasting, man. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. So World's Worst Gamer was over there, keeping the chat rolling. And Dave Gardner's So Many Games stream is really good. So I do encourage you to check it out. Good stuff. Lots of cool people in there, and yeah. And I, for one, am really happy to see Dave Gardner playing a lot of baseball. I mean, he's primarily a hockey fan. Hey, it's Cooney 007, A Day in the Life. That counts. That definitely counts. What a great song that is. But yeah, so Dave's playing a lot of baseball, but there's a lot of folks in there, so do check it out. World's Worst Gamer trying to encourage the lurkers and doing a pretty good job of it, and of course a deep philosophical discussion of autocorrect. We can't stand autocorrect. It's all gobshite. All right, we've been playing a lot of out of the park baseball and other things. There's been a lot of other baseball. I haven't been back to Action PC baseball for a while. There's Big Clue. Hey, Big Clue, good to see you. And so World's Worst Gamer says found new game. Learn more about this link. Haven't watched the video yet. Well, let me go check it out and see what this is. Says first look 1-2-3 baseball, quick play cards and dice baseball board game. Yeah, I'll have to definitely check that out. Let's see if they have a website. They have demo teams, blah 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 blah. Let me just hit this up and look at their website here and see what this is. So the demo is $4. I don't know if that's the demo or it can be the actual game. It's normally $6. It's on sale for $4. Comes with 2 teams. So guys, check out the definitely check out. So it looks like this guy has some other baseball games on base baseball. So and quick play baseball. So serious baseball fan. So if you're into if you know his stuff, I don't. But he has some a little sale going on. So it looks like something to check out. So I will definitely be looking at that afterwards. It looks like it doesn't use.
Welcome back.
Sorry, there. I can't. I'm not. You can't restream somebody else's stuff. But I'm gonna leave a like. I'm gonna leave a like there for him. All right, cool. Thanks for the heads up. All right. Big Clusis can't wait for you to try it out, World's Worst Gamer, so we can hear what's wrong with it. Be sure to drop your review in Discord. Speaking of the Discord, before we get started, guys, if you can, just send John DFW a little bit of thanks or what have you, because he's kind of he's always working on our Discord and added some channels for Clue and we love Diamond Mind Baseball. So there's a channel in there now for Diamond Mind. There's finally also a channel in there for Out of the Park Baseball. John's done a fantastic job. That's been a nice hub for our community. So please give John a little doff of the cap. So yep, Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. I'm gonna be ordering that thing December 1st, and hopefully Game Crafter. I know they're gonna get hammered. There's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna be buying that game, but I want mine first. All right, so this is the Decades League. This was an old subset of the Baseball History Collection that really Dave Cook needs to re-release the subset. It's brilliant. But anyhow, so we have 1910s versus 1980s, the 1930s versus 2000s. the 1900s versus the 1990s. We might do that game. We can look at this as far as pitching matchups. Some pretty good ones all the way around. Standings right now, though, the 1910s and the 1940s are in first place, each at 4-1. And then the 1900s 2-3, the 1890s, 1930s at 1-4. So, what this was the best players of each decade. There are no repeats in this. So, Babe Ruth, for instance, is on the 1920s. Lou Gehrig is on the 1930s. So, I really like this set, and I'm really surprised that. I guess he cycles through these, but he really should think about. Really should think about re-releasing some of the older sets to this. So without further ado, let's do it. And hey, there's Mike Silva. So Mike says that he is there going to be a channel for Inside Pitch? Sakuni, when I can certainly ask John, and John DFW, if he comes in here, we can ask him. You can ask him. John is always open for expanding the channel. So MVC is sans bollocks. Oh my goodness gracious. So yeah, we definitely, there's nothing wrong. A lot of people do play Inside Pitch, and I mean Robert's a member of our Discord. I'm sure he would appreciate a place to talk about Inside Pitch. Is he's kind of like the man for it. Although you're doing a hell of a job with it. All right, I'll let you guys pick. If you can see the matchups there on your screen. So we could see Ed Walsh versus Steve Rogers, the 1910s versus 1980s. The 1930s we've seen a lot in this decade lead. So it's Carl Hubbell versus the 2000s team and John Smoltz. The 1900s, Addie Joss versus the 1990s and Greg Maddux. The 1940s versus the 1950s, Bob Feller and Bob Lemon. And the 1800s versus the 1970s, Pud Galvin and Bert Blyleven. So Dan Burke, my favorite Irishman. There you are. Good to see you. All right. So Mike Silva says he could do 80s or 90s. Cool. We should actually get Mike on here. He says that's 20th century. There's Bernie Strom. Welcome in. Big Clue says finished 62 Mets in Action PC today. They went 63-99. Good job. Much better than the actual 62 Mets did. Yep, 23 win improvement. Finished dead last in a 10-team league. Nice. Moving on to 1963. There's SGJ Jamie. Welcome in, Jamie. Good to see you. Yeah, so World's Worst Gamer, I'm sorry I missed your chat last night. I was out doing music and drinking Guinness, but be looking for it. So, guys, hey, there's JT Dutch. He was also at Dave's broadcast, Dave Gardner's broadcast. World's Worst Gamer, man, feel free to put a link to your Twitch channel here. But it'd be really nice if you would do, do some stuff on YouTube too. A lot of guys here aren't Twitch members, but yeah, it was a real stream. You're not going to do anything on a regular. Yeah, but every once in a while, just put it in here, man. That's why you have the wrench. And we don't really get a lot of garbage in here, so it's not enough for you guys to knock the wrenches on. So, all right. So Mike says 80s or 90s. So let me see. The 80s are playing the 1910s. So let's do that. Let's do that. We'll play that game. And I think we'll manage the 1910s. Doesn't really matter. All right. And there it is, guys. So please do check it out. Todd B is in here. Yep. He says that's a rant channel. He's not ranting. But he is playing Warhammer Vermintide End of Times, which is an excellent game. I'm still threatening. I know I'm going to be doing some non-baseball stuff here occasionally. And I think the first one up is going to be Warhammer Inquisitor Martyr. So I've done that on the channel before, just screwing around. But I might start that from the beginning. It's a really fun story, and it's Warhammer. It's over the top. It's crazy. So, and there he is, Cousin Ken Castro, heart and soul of this channel. So it's gonna be nice. So Big Clue's talking about doing his project in Action PC, and MV's doing it in Outlaw Park Baseball. Curious to see how your various endeavors differ, which is what I'm going to be doing with 1967. and I've decided that the third baseball sim will be Digital Diamond Baseball. So it's going to be done sort of simultaneously in Out of the Park Baseball, Action PC, and Digital Diamond, using Digital Diamond's engine, though. So should be fun. It's going to be largely just playing it out, and then just kind of comparing results and stats, just for fun, not to judge which sim is better or worse or whatever. But so, or did I forget Pure? I'm sorry, and Pure Sim Baseball. So Action PC, Out of the Park, Digital Diamond, and Pure Sim. So we're going to do it in 4 digital baseball sims, 1967, and doing 1967 as a way to thank Bernie. Where's my stupid mic? For thanking Bernie. It's not my stupid mic. It's a very smart mic. For coming on and doing Weekend at Bernie's. We do have to do that again. No baseball mogul. So John DFW sets up a he sets up a sub channel or whatever in Discord, and so of course it was really really beautiful. John asking already in Discord yeah, Sakuni 007 already asking will there be a channel for Inside Pitch, and I'm sure John would be more than happy to do that. But look in here, right? So at 10:26 this evening, I put in the new Out of the Park thing. I said, looking forward to some activity in this part of Discord, and Mike Silva comes right on within what 30 seconds, Mike, if that. Oh, Out of the Park sucks. He laughing, just kidding, of course. Jam 920 then comes in and says, I don't know myself, but I heard people are saying baseball mogul surpasses Out of the Park in pretty much every conceivable measure. Funny stuff. Mike giving him a laugh back. Legend Sports Universe said Universe one. He was talking to Jam, and he says, "You heard a person say that? One with a Marcus Heiss on Voodoo Doll. Of course, Marcus, the developer of Out of the Park Baseball." Legend says Clay himself wrote a Wikipedia entry, which is beyond comical. He says he's going to edit it, and when it gets to his family, he's going to write that Clay's dad's name is Marcus Hyson. That is beautiful. So, way to go! Love it, love it, love it, Legends. I think you should. Chris Slovic is with us tonight. Good to see you, Chris. Ken says that he started 2 more projects. They're not baseball. Sorry guys, I'm not as fast as Dave Gardner. I'm muting the mic, so you're used to me coughing and dying and sputtering here. Ken, are there any of those projects we can talk about on a YouTube channel? Chris, I love your channel too. I want you to get back to doing some baseball, my friend, but we love what you're doing. You'll be back in Pittsburgh on 15 December. All right, man, we got to figure this out. We'll do it. All right. It's going to feel really, really weird doing Action PC Baseball. This has been a while for this. This game's a little slower, so we'll chill, we'll talk. Todd B says he's playing his basketball project. Thought about posting stuff I haven't. Hope you do, Todd. Really would. Dave's wife said none of his friends are as fast as him. Oh, love it, love it. So yeah, guys, do check out the Dave Gardner recent broadcast. So many games. It's really, really good. Dave hanging out, and talking about raking leaves in the dark. So one thing about this community, man, you never know what you're going to hear. How about it? All right. All right, let's go. This will be the 1910s versus the 1980s returning. So this will be the Ty Cobbs versus the Ricky Hendersons. All right, they're starting Steve Rogers. We're just going to do that. And Steve Rogers versus Ed Walsh. So let's get to the ballpark. Dwayne Martins, welcome in, man. Welcome to Progressive Field for the game between the 1910 Ty Cobbs and the 1980 Ricky Hendersons. Ed Walsh will get the start for the 1910s. He's made one start in the year, and he is 1-0. His ERA of 3. And he'll be opposed by Steve Rogers for the 1980s, and he has also made one start, and he is 0-1 with an ERA of 21. So weather at game time here in Cleveland is 50 degrees, which we know it's not right now in Cleveland. I don't know about Ohio, but man, Pennsylvania was absolutely like, it was the tundra last night. Ugh. Anyhow, 50 degrees, wind speed 5 miles per hour, out to right. And let's do this.
Play ball!
All right, leading off for the 1910s is the team's namesake, the great Takab. So in the replay right now, just 2 for 4, so very early going on this, and let's go. Steve Rogers is ready to deal to Cobb. The 0-1 pitch coming to the Georgia Peach. And Cobb gets the bunt down. Gary Carter pouncing on it, fires onto to Ryan Sandberg, covering, and that will be 1 up, 1 down now. Home run Baker batting in the number 2 slot. He's hitting .238 on the season with a home run and 5 runs batted in. So the infield looking for a bunt. Hernandez playing in at first, and Wade Boggs playing in at third. Rogers with the 0-1 pitch. Baker, chopper back to the mound. Rogers with a quick throw across to Hernandez to get the speedy Baker for the second out of the inning. Also, in the interest of community, our Red Sox fan is doing football right now simultaneously. So, if you feel inclined, awesome. All right, here is Sherry McGee. Sherry McGee is hitting just 176. He's got a home run, 6 runs batted in. 2 down here, top of the first in Cleveland. Steve Rogers with the 1-1 delivery. McGee sends this high and deep to right, but not enough as Dewey Evans will pull it down for out. Number 3, no runs, no hits, no errors. We played a half inning. The 1910s, nothing. And the 1980s, Ricky Henderson is coming to bat. So Tim Raines, switch hitter, leads it off here. Raines hitting 200. And Ed Walsh, the great spitballer, ready to deal. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Raines sends this to deep center. Cobb back on, and all he can do is watch it go. Tim Raines opens the festivities on a 2-1 pitch with a shot out to center field, 377 feet. And it is 1-0. The Cobbs come into this game 4 wins, 1 loss. The Hendersons, every time I see, and I named it after Ricky Henderson, but I think of that movie, Harry and the Hendersons, and I don't know why I can't get that out of my head. But there we go. So 1-0 now. And here is Ryan Sandberg hitting it even 200 with a run batted in. Ed Walsh deals the 2-1 pitch. Walsh getting touched up here. Base hit by a diving Larry Doyle at second into center field. Cobb getting the ball back in. So here we go. Sandberg at first will steal the occasional base and brings up Wade Boggs. The lefty hitting .250 this year. 3 runs batted in. Throw over, and Sandberg dives back ahead of Ed Kenichi's tag. Walsh peers in, has the sign from catcher Ray Shaw. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Base hit left field, and Walsh getting hit hard. Sandberg's going to move to third on the play. Nobody out, and we may have to prevail upon Ken Castro to see if we give Ed Walsh the early hook. Welcome in, legends. We were just talking about your impending edit of the of the Clay Dressler Wikipedia entry. Love his dad is Marcus Hindson. Anyhow, welcome in, man. Are you doing a game tonight? And there's Dan Burke, who got the question right. Henderson, the man who broke up more than 81 no-hitters. So that was brilliant. Brilliant stuff. Okay, so John, these are and if anybody wants them, they're an old subset of the baseball history collection. So anybody that's interested in Action PC, let me know. So this is, these roster, yeah, right. And so I did all the graphic tarting up and stuff like that, but this was a subset of the baseball history collection from Action PC Sports around 2017. So waiting to see whether Legends is going to do a game tonight. So keep going. Okay, Ken Castro says no one is yanking anyone. He says except Todd. Okay, doubleheader on the channel tomorrow. Okay. All right, guys, tune in. See, now I'm wishing you did more broadcasts at night because I'm missing more of your stuff again. So, John DFW, when you're here, whilst you're here, we have a request from Sakuni 007. When you have the time, if you would you mind adding a channel to the Discord for Inside Pitch Baseball, because we do have some inside pitch players here. That'd be awesome. And I hope you got my message thanking you so much. Thanking you for all the work you do. It is a great central place for everybody in this community. So everybody give it up for John DFW. All right. All right, Walsh getting touched up here. The 1980s Ricky Henderson's with 3 hits and a run in already. Sandberg at third, Boggs at first, and Dwight Evans hitting 235 now. Walsh winds and deals, curveball, and this one fouled on the first base side. The count goes to 0-2. Walsh deals, and finally a strikeout for Ed Walsh. That's his first one. And went with the heat there, and here's Cal Ripken. Ripken hitting 176. He's got a run batted in. Ed Walsh with the 2-1 pitch. Ripken bounder to short, and Bush will go to Doyle on to Kenichi for the inning-ending double play. So Walsh does get out of it, but not before a run scores. We go to the top of the second inning. It's the 1980s decade team 1, the 1910s decade team nothing. Thank you, John, so very much. Yeah, let me know, and if you don't have them, John, I'll get them. So Legend says so. Let us know. He will advise. So everybody should advise Legends to do a game tonight. That's what I say. And then that way it works out twice as well for you guys, because that will make me go faster, and you get to see a Legends game. So there we go. All right, Larry Doyle will lead things off here. Doyle will be followed by Ed Kenichi. And I believe this is it? Chief Wilson. There's so many Wilsons. All right, so Chief Wilson, who had that anomalous season in 1914. Hey, on the 0-2 pitch, Larry Doyle goes up the middle for a base hit. So first base hit here for the Cubs, and that brings up first baseman Ed Kenichi. Kenichi hitting just 133 with a run batted in. Larry Doyle at first will steal a base on you, so Steve Rogers will have to keep an eye on him. Keith Hernandez playing right on the bag. The 0-1 pitch, Kenichi sends this to Sandberg. Sandberg over Ripken. Hard slide by Doyle will break up the double play. And Kenichi's aboard at first. 1 down now for Chief Wilson. And Chief Wilson hitting just 167 with a run batted in. David Lando. So, David Lando, this is your 3rd time in here. And I'm just going to type just baseball in here because I got to do something. I really wish that YouTube would get rid of this stupid heart thing. I'm David Lando. You are now a moderator on this channel. So it's your 3rd time in. Cool. So post links to things that you like or whatever. And yeah. And then, you know, the occasional Egypt comes in. You get to bop them with a wrench. So some baseball to end Thanksgiving. You're most welcome. All right. Can't get more early 80s than Marlboro Man looking Steve Rogers. How about that? You are wrenched, David, and I mean, how many times in life can you can you say that and it's a good thing, right? All right. Rogers deals. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Wilson. Wilson grounder to Sandberg. Sandberg, Ripken back to Keith Hernandez. Inning-ending double play. So despite a batter getting on, they face the minimum. We go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. And it is 1-0. We're getting smacked here. Oh, okay, I know what that is now, because I hear the Discord going beep, 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 and that's just something else I belong to. Let's see, Jamie says, let's get a free copy of the 2018 version of Baseball Mogul along with the wrench. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that, Jamie. I got to take care of that. All right, and here we go. Ken and Todd in the chat. You know where that's going, guys. All right, so Keith Hernandez, be followed by Dale Murphy, Gary Carter. All right. Ed Walsh, who got a little bit bruised up in the 1st inning. See if he settles down here. Walsh deals, and Hernandez lines this into left. Chief Wilson playing on the hop. Base hit. So the Hendersons have come to play baseball. I'm not really a Braves fan, but here's one of my all-time favorite Braves, Dale Murphy. So Murphy hitting .263, including a home run, 4 runs batted in. Ed Walsh kicks and fires the 1-2 delivery, curveball to Murphy, and he looks at that called strike 3. Walsh with his second strikeout of the game, waiting in the Legends League for Gavy Kravitz to come up for the Phillies. He, of course, the dead ball home run king. We'll see how Gavy does in the Legends League. Don't know when he's coming up, but hopefully he will at some point. And here's the kid, Gary Carter. May his memory be eternal. Carter hitting a healthy .286 with a run batted in. Keith Hernandez aboard, 1 away. And the 0-1 pitch. Carter swings. This one, bounder to Bush at short. And Hernandez going in hard will break up the potential double play. 2 down, Gary Carter at first. And here is the pitcher, Steve Rogers. 0 for 1 on the season at the plate. Walsh with the 0-2 and swing and a miss. So, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. We've played 2 here in Cleveland, and it's the Hendersons 1 and the Cubs nothing. And I'll give you guys, you guys just give me 1 moment. I will be right back. I've got this heater going in this room, and it's becoming an inferno. I'll be right back with you. Mike Silva asking, so what am I, right now, they're called Cheyennes. They're cheap, so I've cut way back, man. I've cut way back, so I know it's hard to tell sometimes, but yeah. Mike's asking if anybody here plays out for a perfect team. Nobody ever mentions it, so he likes ripping the virtual packs. All right. So it's going to be Donnie Bush leading off, acquired from the Tigers, followed by Ray Schalk and Ed Walsh. So we're going to have a Tiger and 2 former White Soxers. Steve Rogers deals. Here's the pitch, and Bush, hard liner out to right field. Darrell Evans will play that one on the hop. So Donnie Bush is aboard, and here comes Ray Schalk. Ray Schalk, usually very, very light hitting. Off to a good start to the season. He's hitting .400, which will only last for a couple more weeks, but the Cubs will take it while they can. Steve Rogers checks Donnie Bush at first. Bush with 41 steals last season. The 1-2 pitch. Schalk swings and misses. Strike 3 called. So nice curveball there by Steve Rogers. 1 down. And that will bring up the pitcher, Ed Walsh. He's 0 for 3 at the plate. They're looking bunt here. Rogers lets it go. The 1-0 pitch. And there goes Donnie Bush. The throw down by Carter. And Donnie Bush picks up his first steal of the season. So the tying run in scoring position now for the 1910s. Rogers throws back, and they will not catch Bush napping. Sandberg playing in behind him, but Bush back in time. 1-1 pitch now. Walsh sends this comeback to the mound. Sandberg, they've got Bush in a rundown, and Donnie Bush is tagged out by Hal Ripken. So 2 away, the 1910s, again, coming in this game at 4-1, can't seem to put it together tonight. Back at the top of the order for the Georgia Peach, and he bunted to the catcher back in the first. Steve Rogers winds and deals. Here's the 0-1, and Ty Cobb with a base hit to right field. Evans and Murphy converging, and Ed Walsh will get to third on the play. Cobb moves to second, 2 in scoring position, 2 down for home run Baker. He's 0 for 1. Grounded back to the pitcher last time. Steve Rogers from the stretch in the 1-2 pitch to home run Baker. Curveball coming in. Bouncer to short. Ripken has it, and they do just nip Baker. So the 1910s strand 2 in scoring position. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's still the 1980s 1 and the 1910s nothing. So always glad to hear. Good to see people talking about their projects. Keep it up, guys. That's what this is about. It's about the chat. It's about what you're doing. It's not about the game that's on the screen. All right, Tim Raines, back at the top of the order for the 1980 squad. Raines opened the festivities with a home run, 377 feet. Ed Walsh with the 0-2 pitch, fastball. And this one, a soft bounder, and Donnie Bush ranging in and making a great play, just nipping the very, very fast Tim Raines. So 1 up, 1 down here. Doff the cap there to Donnie Bush making a nice play at short. Ryan Sandberg is 1 for 1. He singled his last time. And Sandberg, little grounder back to Walsh at first. He fires on to Konichi for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down. Can we get the good morning, good afternoon, good night for the 1910s? Single for Boggs, his last time up. Walsh lets it go, and Boggs hits this one hard to left, running hard, turning the corner, slides into second with a 2-out double. All right, here's Dewey now. He struck out back in the first. Walsh, count full, and Walsh loses Evans, so 2-1 now for the 1980 squad. Brings up Cal Ripken Jr., and grounded into a double play his last time up. Walsh lets it go, the 1-1 pitch, fastball, Ripken swings, grounder to third, home run. Baker will take it to the bag himself to retire Boggs and the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 2 left on. We've played 3, and we have a good close ball game here. It's the Hendersons 1 and the Cobbs nothing. And we will see Sherry McGee, Larry Doyle, and Ed Konichi due up. Talking about managers who JT Dutch starts this. He's David Lando first is in any other chat pulling a perfect Mookie Betts sounds weird. Yet in any other chat it would. JT Dutch is asking everybody, including all you lurkers out there, if you had to pick a manager to represent the 1980s, who would it be? Billy Martin, Sparky, Lasorda, Whitey. So who we got? Talking about some people saying Tommy Lasorda, Billy Martin, who definitely should be in the Hall. Exactly. Roger Craig. There you go. How many people are going to say John McNamara? Sorry, I don't mean to piss off Red Sox fans. I really don't. I don't. All right, Steve Rogers deals. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Sherry McGee sends this fastball line right back to Rogers. What a play by Steve Rogers. Fielding his position nicely off the bump. All right, Larry Doyle 1 for 1, grounded a single back in the second. Rogers brings it, and Doyle sends this fastball out to right field. Evans plays it up hot, fires it into Ryan Sandberg. So that's the 4th hit for the Cobbs. Still nothing on the board in terms of where it counts. And here's Ed Konichi. He is nothing for 1. Grounded last time up, forced Doyle at second. Throw over, Doyle back safely, and time Rogers with a 2-2 pitch. Konichi grounds this one to Sandberg. He'll go to Hernandez for his only play. Larry Doyle moves to second on the play. Steve Rogers, it looks like he might have shown maybe a little bit of strain, but he wants to stay in the game. So the 1980s manager, who we would name Mike Silva, will be keeping a close eye on Steve Rogers. All right, Chief Wilson now up there. Grounded into a double play back in the second. Doyle, the tying run on second for the Cobbs. Steve Rogers with the 2-2 pitch, fastball. And Chief Wilson sends this down the line to left, but in the corner, Tim Raines will make the trotting catch for out number 3. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, a man left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. The Hendersons 1 and the Cobbs nothing. And somehow Mitt Romney is sneaking into the chat somehow, former governor of Massachusetts. All right. So that will bring up Keith Hernandez, Dale Murphy, Gary Carter. And Keith last time singled to right. Somebody who has been some debate on whether he should be in the Hall of Fame or not. Ed Walsh with the 2-1 pitch. Hernandez, high fly ball to center field. Ty Cobb draws a beat on it and pulls it down for out number 1. Dale Murphy now. Murphy struck out in the second against Ed Walsh. Ed Walsh has fan 3 walking. Walsh deals the 2-2 pitch, base hit up the middle, waiting for Walsh to go to the spitball, and he hasn't yet. It was said that Ed Walsh's spitball would dematerialize and rematerialize as he hit the pitch through the catcher's glove. And our player of note tonight will be Ed Walsh. The only reason I'm not doing newer players when I do these players of note is you guys don't know about them. It's kind of like Dave Gardner said in his chat tonight. He likes to play the 19th century guys, and I noticed he's playing some 1908. He said because to him it's all fictional. He doesn't know them. So it's my mission to get people to know these guys as much as you can. So Ed Walsh will be our player of note tonight, and when he comes up whenever he comes up. All right, there we go. Walsh ready to deal to Gary Carter now. One down, Dale Murphy on at first, and Carter grounded out, forcing Hernandez last time up. Throw over. Dale Murphy back in plenty of time. Dale Murphy with 16 steals and 1 steal this season. Spitballer deals 2-1 pitch, hard liner, but right to home run. Baker spears it out of the air for out number 2. No place for Dale Murphy to go on that one. Steve Rogers, nothing for 1, struck out against Walsh back in the second. Walsh brings it home, the 2-2 pitch. Steve Rogers, cut and a miss. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on. We have played 4, and the score remains 1-0 for the Hendersons, 1-6-0. The Cobbs are 0-4-0. The Hendersons have stranded 5, the Cobbs have stranded 3. Donnie Bush, Ray Schalk, and Ed Walsh. Ed Walsh, our player of note tonight. Another great way to end a Thanksgiving weekend is talking about a Hall of Famer. All right, Steve Rogers ready to deal with Donnie Bush now. Donnie Bush lined a single back into third, but was caught in a rundown between second and third. The 2-1 pitch to Bush, fastball, and this one lined, and a diving catch by Dewey Evans in right field. Great play by Evans. So 1 up, 1 down now. Here is Ray Cracker Schalk. Struck out back into third. Rogers deals the 2-0 pitch. This one popped behind the plate, and his opposite number tosses aside the mask and makes a tumbling catch behind the plate. And now we go, and we will talk about Mr. Ed Walsh. So one of the great pitchers of all time, great spitballer, and apparently one hell of a singer too. So maybe he could have been the 5th Beatle at one time. I don't know. I mean, Walsh was Irish. 3 of the Beatles, Irish descent, so why not? And Ireland actually does claim the Beatles as their own, since Liverpool has a huge Irish population. All right, let's get to Ed Walsh here. Probably going to be known to some of you guys, but I think he deserves a bit of a chin wag himself, don't you think? All right, as we go back in time. I should probably have these pages open already, but I never know. Okay, so holy shit. All right, sit back, relax, open a beverage. Here we go. Edward Augustine Walsh. All right. He was born May 14th, 1881 in Plains, Pennsylvania. And he died May 26th, 1959 in Pompano Beach, Florida. He made his major league debut May 7th, 1904 with the Chicago White Sox. He was a righty both ways, 6'1", 193. So Big Ed Walsh never lacked self-confidence. One sports writer described him as, quote, "the only man I ever saw who could strut standing still," end quote. Walsh had an unbounded faith in his pitching ability, and most of the time it was warranted. The youngest of 13 children of an Irish immigrant coal miner, Edward Augustine Walsh worked in the mines and developed strong shoulders and arms on a 6'1", 193-pound frame. After playing baseball for a local semi-pro team, he turned professional and began pitching for Wilkes-Barre of the Pennsylvania State League in 1902. Walsh appeared in only 4 games and collected 1 hit or 1 win before moving up to Meridian of the Connecticut League, where he went 15-5. In 1903, the right-hander won 11. It's Meriden. Sorry, guys. For Meriden and 9 for Newark of the Eastern League. His 20 wins got the attention of Chicago White Sox owner Charles Comiskey, whose interest grew when he learned that Walsh threw only fastballs and wasn't considered a red-hot prospect. Walsh was available for only $750, and given the choice between an expensive, highly touted prospect and an affordable sleeper, Comiskey always voted with his wallet. Boy, don't we know that. At White Sox training camp in 1904, Walsh roomed with Elmer Strickland, a minor league pitcher who threw a spitball and was willing to pass on his knowledge between the seams of the baseball. To grip it with his fingers between the seams and throw it like a fastball. The resulting pitch had the speed of a fastball but no rotation, which caused it to break like a knuckleball. Strickland later pitched for a couple of weak Brooklyn teams, but never had the opportunity to work for a contender. Another Strickland pupil, Happy Jack Cheesebro of the New York Highlanders, flourished with the spitball and won 41 games in 1904, the 20th century record. Cheesebro had already experimented with a spitter, but under Strickland's tutelage, he gained command of the pitch. Walsh liked the new pitch, but, like Cheesebro, he couldn't control it initially. For 2 years, he struggled by with just a fastball. Walsh won 14 games during limited pitching opportunities in 1904 and 1905, but in 1906 he finally got a spitter under control. The 1906 White Sox are legendary. The dead ball had depressed offensive production everywhere, but few teams were as affected as Chicago. American League teams combined for a meager .249 batting average, and the White Sox's average of .230 was the lowest in the league. 5 Chicago regulars batted lower than .250. Only Boston in the National League, loser of 102 games, had worse hitting. But the White Sox won the pennant and earned the nickname the Hitless Wonders. The White Sox didn't compensate for their lack of hitting with power. Their 7 home runs were last in the league, as with their slugging percentage of .286. Yet they were not totally inept offensively. Using speed, walks, and timely, if infrequent, base hits, they scored more runs than 5 of the league's other teams. The strength of the White Sox was good defense and great pitching. Right-hander Frank Owen won 22 games, Nick Altrock won 20, and fellow lefty Doc White won 18. Walsh, with his new spitball, was 17 and 13, and he led the league with 10 shutouts and compiled a sparkling 1.88 earned run average. Still, the Sox were in 4th place as late as August, but they surged into 1st place during a 19-game winning streak to take the 19-game winning streak to take the pennant by 3 games over the Highlanders. The Sox faced the Chicago Cubs in the only All-Chicago World Series. The Tinker to Evers to Chance Cubs had slaughtered their National League foes on the way to an all-time record of 116 victories. The series looked like a mismatch. Yet, the Sox still had some momentum after their furious September finish, while the Cubs had coasted with a big lead for the last month of the season. Nick Altrock outdueled Three-Finger Brown 2-1 in the opener. The Cubs' Ed Rollbach evened the score, one hitting the Sox the following day. Walsh pitched Game 3. The spitball had rarely been seen in the National League, and the Cubs struck out 12 times and registered only 2 hits while losing 3-0. But the Cubs came back as Brown tossed a 2-hitter to edge Altrock 1-0 in Game 4. In the crucial 5th, I can't wait for Dwayne to get to the 1906 series. That's going to be fun. In the crucial 5th game, White Sox manager Fielder Jones called on Walsh. Walsh wasn't at his best, but neither was the White Sox defense. They made 6 errors and allowed 4 unearned runs to score. Walsh gave up 2 earned runs himself, but left in the 7th inning with an 8-6 lead. After being held to just 11 hits in the first 4 games, the Pale Hose uncharacteristically exploded for 12 hits in Game 5. Doc White pitched 3 shutout innings in relief, and the Sox held on for a 3-2 lead in the series. The following day, the White Sox crushed Brown and Orville overall for 14 hits to win 8-3 and become world champions. In 6 games, Sox batters had hit only 198, but Walsh, White, Altrock, and Owen held the Cubs to a 196 clip. Owner Comiskey was so pleased with the upset that he threw an extra $15,000 into the World Series pot to be divided among his players. The move was atypical for the tight-fisted Comiskey. After thinking it was over, he decided to count the bonus against the players' 1907 salary. What a dick. Anyhow, although the White Sox players were upset by the owner's move, they still fought for the 1907 pennant until the last week of the season before succumbing to Detroit. That year, Walsh went 24-18. The team's poor hitting cost him as he was shut out 8 times. He completed a league-leading 37 of his 46 starts, led all pitchers with 422 1/3 innings pitched, and posted a league-leading 1.60 earned run average. He also relieved in 10 games and, under modern rules, earned 4 saves. In 1908, Walsh had one of the best seasons in Major League history. He led the league with 40 victories, 66 appearances, 42 complete games, 464 innings pitched, a modern record, 269 strikeouts, 11 shutouts, and 6 saves. What would you pay somebody for a season like that now? Wow. His ERA was a skimpy 1.42. Detroit, Cleveland, and Chicago fought to the end for the pennant, and Walsh pitched 7 of the last 9 games. On September 27th, he beat Boston 3-0. 2 days later, he pitched a doubleheader against the Boston Red Sox and won 5-1 and 2-0. On October 2nd, he pitched brilliantly in a losing effort against Cleveland, striking out 15 and allowing only a single unearned run while the Indians' Addy Josh twirled a perfect game. 3 days later, Walsh held the Tigers to a single run to record his 40th victory. But the Sox finished third, a game and a half behind pennant-winning Detroit. When Walsh slipped at 15-11 in 1909, critics speculated that he had been overworked the previous 2 seasons. That may have been true, but there was another reason for his ineffectiveness. Cleveland shortstop Neil Ball had noticed that although Walsh went to his mouth before every pitch, he knew the spitter only when he also pulled the bill of his cap. Word got around, and until it got back to Walsh, hitter could tell whether he was going to throw a fastball or a spitball. Despite his off year, Walsh still led the league with 8 shutouts and lowered his ERA to 1.41. In 1910, Walsh went a misleading 18-20. He paced the league with a career-low 1.7 earned run average. The White Sox compiled a miserable .211 team batting average and committed 314 errors. Comiskey finally got Walsh some support in 1911, and the pitcher posted consecutive 27-win seasons. On August 27, 1911, he beat Boston 5-0 on a no-hitter. At the end of the 1912 season, the White Sox and Cubs played a series of exhibitions in Chicago. Walsh, pitching nearly every day, hurled 4 complete games and relieved twice. The next spring, his arm was shot. He struggled through another 4 seasons, never pitching more than 100 innings. In 1916, he asked Comiskey for a year off to rest his arm. Instead, he was released. Is Comiskey like one of the biggest dicks in baseball or what? I don't know. A comeback attempt with the Boston Braves ended after 18 innings. At a farewell dinner, he told the audience, "I won't say it's the happiest moment of my life because it isn't. The happiest moments of my life were spent playing baseball." Walsh managed in the minors in 1920, umpired in the American League in 1922, and coached baseball at Notre Dame in 1926. During most of the 1920s, he was a White Sox coach. His son, Edward Arthur Walsh, pitched for the Sox from 1928 through 1932, but compiled a mediocre 11-24 record. Walsh retired in Connecticut until arthritis forced him to move to Florida in 1957. He died 2 years later at age 78. Although Walsh spent 14 seasons in the majors, most of his career statistics were accumulated in the 7 seasons from 1906 to 1912. He finished with a record of 195 and 126 with 57 shutouts and a 1.22 earned run average, the lowest career ERA for any pitcher with more than 1,000 innings. He was also a superior fielder, a fair hitter, and the first American League pitcher to steal home twice. So there's our little unknown there. He was elected to the Hall of Fame in 1946. So reading about Ed Walsh, kind of a picture that came to mind immediately was Sandy Koufax. So Koufax, unlike guys like Walter Johnson, who were dominant, throughout their entire careers, you had guys like Sandy Koufax who were dominant for a good, 6-7 seasons of their careers. And I'm reading about Ed Walsh, and kind of like the right-handed, or maybe Sandy Koufax was the left-handed Ed Walsh. I don't know, but hope you guys like that little read-through of one of baseball's great pitchers, Ed Walsh, who stole home twice. How about that? Pretty cool stuff. That is cool. All right. Let us get back to the ball game now, and usually our player of note does well. We'll see what happens. At least that's been true in out of the park baseball. Steve Rogers deals the 2-0 pitch. Walsh sends a fly ball to right, but Dewey Evans is going to catch it near the foul line to end the inning. Bottom of the 5th, it's still 1-0, and Tim Raines, 1 for 2, will lead things off Raines with a home run and a ground out. Walsh deals to Raines the 0-1 pitch. Tim Raines swings. A little chopper to Larry Doyle, and he will feed it on to Konichi for out number 1. Ryan Sandberg 1 for 2. Last time up, he bugged out. Ed Walsh winds and deals. Full count. Fastball. And Sandberg sends this a mile, but not a mile enough. So making a leaping catch up against the pitching matchup. Advertising computerized thingy out there, Ty Cobb. So 2 down. So just a big loud out for Ryan Sandberg, and brings up Boggsy. Wade Boggs, a perfect 2 for 2 today, a single and a double. So there we go. Ed Walsh deals the 1-1 pitch. Fastball. Boggs will send this to second. Playing in, Larry Doyle just nips Wade Boggs. So 1-2-3 inning. We head to the top of the 6th. We're still at the same score, 1-0. We have not made any progress. All right, Ty Cobb, home run Baker. Sherry McGee due up for the 1910 squad. Cobb is 1 for 2, single back in the 3rd. Steve Rogers with the delivery. Cobb first pitch swinging and hard hit to left, and Cobb tearing around first. Looks like he cut the bag a bit. Will get into second. Leadoff double, so the tying run in scoring position for the Cobbs, and it brings up home run Baker. He's grounded out twice. Cobb has a good lead off first, but will he try to run on Gary Carter? Rogers with the 1-2 pitch. Baker takes this fastball lined right to Sandberg at first. Leaping play there by Sandberg. Cobb was moving off second aggressively, saw that Sandberg made the play and got back quickly. So 1 down, Sherry McGee, nothing for 2. Line to the pitcher last time up. Steve Rogers deals the 2-0. McGee sends his changeup just a little bouncer down to third. Close play at first, and they will get McGee, and Cobb trying to score, and he is in there. So the 1910s tie it up. So Cobb with some crazy aggressive base running. Hernandez with a quick throw, but Carter's tag not in time. Good hook slide there by the Georgia Peach, and it is 1-1. All right, 2 away now. Larry Doyle, perfect 2 for 2. He has singled twice. Steve Rogers with the 1-0 delivery. Fastball and hard hit to Ripken. Ripken with plenty of time fires on to Keith Hernandez for the 6-3 putout. But 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and we are knotted at 1 here in Cleveland. Yeah, that is almost like the game-winning play in Major League, isn't it? Mike, great call there, my friend. All right, Dwight Evans, Cal Ripken Jr., and Keith Hernandez due up here for the 1980s Ricky Henderson's team. And yes, the sharp-eyed among you will notice that Ricky Henderson not in the starting lineup tonight. Ed Walsh deals the 2-1 pitch. And this one, a little change-up, Doyle to Konichi, and Evans is on the short end of the 4-3 play there. Cal Ripken, 0 for 2. He's grounded into a double play and grounded to third. Larry Doyle taunting him, saying, now ground to me here at second. The 1-0 pitch to Ripken, fastball. Ripken sends this one to Donnie Bush at short for the 6-3 putout. So Ripken unable to get it out of the infield. 2 down for Keith Hernandez, sporting that stash there. Walsh with a 3-1 pitch. Hernandez sends us up the first base line. Konichi over to Walsh, and Walsh misses the bag. So Walsh misses the bag. They should have had Hernandez. So they're going to give him the infield hit. And here's Dale Murphy. He is 1 for 2. Single back in the 4th his last time up. Hernandez, a couple of steps off first. Walsh with a check of the runner. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Dale Murphy. Fastball, chopper to second. Doyle will go to Konichi, and that will retire the side. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the 7th inning, and we are all tied up at 1. Mike Silva saying that Ripken is terrible in his 86 replay for some reason. My Wars of Skimmer said, if you're ever looking for something to do on the channel, how about Ed Walsh versus Ed Walsh Jr.? Yeah, I mean, I knew about him. There's also an Eddie Collins Jr. as well. A lot of times these sons aren't as good as their fathers. There are, of course, exceptions, you know, Bonds and whatever, but yeah. We could do a Walsh versus Walsh. Maybe we'll do that on Father's Day. We'll do a a couple of Father's Day games this coming June. It's Father's Day in the United States in June, so kind of a fun idea. All right, here's Ed Konichi, Chief Wilson, and Donnie Bush. So not as many marquee names as maybe like the 1900s or the 1920 squad, but this 1910 squad, they're in first place, or sharing first place at 4-1. Pretty tough. All right, here's the 0-1 pitch to Ed Konichi. Curveball liner right to Ryan Sandberg for out number 1. Chief Wilson, he is 0 for 2. He is grounded into double play and flown out. Steve Rogers with the 1-2 pitch. Curveball, swing and a miss. So 2 down. Steve Rogers has now fanned his second batter of the game. Donnie Bush is 1 for 2. Last time line to right. Steve Rogers works to him, the 1-1. Fastball. This one twisting foul and will make the seats on the left side. 1-2 on Bush, and Bush, fouls off for strike 3. 7th inning stretch. It is 1-1. Todd B says a little ways back that Yaz just got his 4th hit of the game he's playing. The 78 Red Sox lead the 77 Rangers 4-0 in the top of the 6th. Welcome in Clinton Parks. Oh, I know them too, Clinton, but when you compare the squad to a lot of the other ones in here, so, I mean, we could look at the whole roster, but in this starting lineup, there's a lot of non-Hall of Famers in these 1910 squad. So excellent players. But welcome in, and he is posting on Dwayne Martz's page. All right. So welcome the Professor. All right, Gary Carter, the kid is grounded to short and line to third. Ed Walsh, the 3-1 pitch, and Carter lays off and draws the walk. So Walsh issuing his second free pass in the game to accompany the 4 strikeouts. Gary Carter at first. Steve Rogers, nothing for 2. Rogers swings, get the bunt down. Schock will go to second. They turn the double play. So it'll be Schock to Bush to Konichi. How about that? So a weird double play there. Good heads-up play by Ray Schock. So 2 down, bases empty for the dangerous Tim Raines, 1 for 3 in the game. The 1-2 pitch to Raines. Curveball, a little slow roller to short. Donnie Bush ranges in and making the bad throw, rushing his throw, trying to get the speedy Tim Raines. It doesn't work, gets past Panecci, and Raines is in scoring position. So the 1980s Henderson's threatening to break this 1-1 deadlock and brings up Ryan Sandberg. Sandberg is 1 for 3 back in the 5th. Just hit a very loud out. A great catch by Ty Cobb out in left center. Walsh brings it, the 1-0 delivery. Fastball swung on. Roller down to third. Home run Baker's going to have to hurry. And they do not get Sandberg to throw home. And Raines is safe. So Raines doing what Ty Cobb did earlier. And it's now 2-1. So a fun game. This one more a small ball game than anything except for a Raines home run. All right, 2-1 your score here. Should the 1980s prevail here, they will go to 3-3. The Cobbs will fall to 4-2. Sandberg at first, 2 away. Boggs is 2 for 3. Single, double, and a ground out. The 1-1 pitch to Boggs. Boggs swings. This one grounded to Doyle, to Konichi for the 4-3 putout. But 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error. 7 in the books here at Progressive Field in Cleveland. And it's the 1980s Hendersons 2, the 1910 Cobbs 1. Jamie says maybe Ripken giving a preview for 1987. Says I guess if he finishes in the 260 range with 20 homers, that would be in the cone. Good stuff. Chicago The Chi-Feds 4, KC 2, Max Flack. Ninth inning, triple wins it, says Clinton Parks. All right, back to the game. Did we talk Legends into Ed Walsh? Yeah, going back to Legends, he says Ed Walsh was about the only guy who put his weight on his Shanks team. All right, Clinton's been busy today in baseball world. Armando Marsans goes 3 for 4 for the Reds as they shut out Hippo Vaughn and the Cubs 3-0. Red Ames picking up the win there for Clinton Parks. Steve Rogers deals to Ray Schalk. Schalk, little grounder out to Wade Boggs, sets in and plenty of times retires Cracker for the 1 out. All right, Ed Walsh, our player of note. Come on, Ed. 0-2 pitch. Ed Walsh, swing and a miss. Rogers picks up his 4th strikeout of the game. So he has 5 strikeouts in the season, 4 in this game for Steve Rogers. Also sporting a stash. These are going to be the corn. I should rename the 1980s corn squad. All right, Ty Cobb, 2 for 3. We're back at the top of the order. Cobb, his last time, doubled to left center. Steve Rogers with a 3-1 pitch. Fastball. Cobb, high fly ball into the corner and left. Tim Raines will bring it down for the out to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's the 1980s 2, the 1910s 1. And it'll be Darrell Evans, Cal Ripken, and Keith Hernandez. Evans in the game has struck out, walked, and grounded out. Ed Walsh deals. First pitch swinging. Evans drills this to left field, and he will have himself a leadoff double. 9th hit for the 1980s squad, and that brings up Cal Ripken. Ripken is 0 for 3. He has grounded out 3 times in this game, once into a double play. 1-1 pitch to Ripken, fastball, and he's going to do it again. This one grounded to Doyle, who will go to Konichi. And so there you go. Ripken grounding out 4 times in this game. On the play, though, Dewey moves to 3rd. So the 1980s looking for a little bit of wiggle room here. Keith Hernandez, 2 for 3. I heard Dwayne Martz say that yesterday or today, a little bit of wiggle room in the 1903 World Series game. So I like it. Ed Walsh from the stretch to Hernandez is 2 for 3, the 0-1. Hernandez says it's down to 1st. Konichi will take it to the bag himself, but the run will score. Evans crosses with run number 3. So 3-1 here. When we do get to the 9th for the Ty Cobbs, it will be home run Baker, Sherry McGee, and Larry Doyle. Dale Murphy 1 for 3 in the game. Ed Walsh with the 0-2 delivery, and strike 3, and that ends the inning. Walsh coming with the fastball that time. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. 8 in the books. And the Cobbs have some work to do to try to improve to 5-1. Home run Baker will start things off here in the 9th. And he has grounded out twice and lined to 2nd. Steve Rogers looking for a complete game win. Fastball swung on, and a diving play by Dwight Evans to make the catch on that liner. Gets it in foul territory. So 1 away now. And Sherry McGee, 0 for 3. Steve Rogers has pitched a fine ball game today. He deals. McGee swings in the first pitch, and this one, base hit into right field. Evans hesitating, and that's just enough for the speedy Sherry McGee to make it the 2nd. And the tying run comes to the plate, and Larry Doyle. 1 away. McGee at 2nd. Doyle in the game is 2 for 3, so 2 singles. Rogers checks McGee back at 2nd. Sherry McGee stole 37 last season. Rogers brings it to 2-1 to Doyle. Fastball swung on. This one hit to Ripken at short. Ripken to Hernandez. 2 outs, and Ripken looking McGee back, so he will stay at 2nd, and it's down to Ed Konichi, who has grounded out twice and lined to 2nd. Steve Rogers winds and deals. The 0-1 pitch, curveball, base hit left field. McGee is rounding 3rd. The hit and run was on. Reigns up with the ball, and in to score is Sherry McGee. So the 1910 squad playing gritty baseball. It's now 3-2. Mounting something here. Tying run on at 1st, and here's Chief Wilson. Chief Wilson, of course, known for that anomalous season with all the triples. Wilson on the day, 0 for 3, struck out his last time up. Steve Rogers Gary Carter out to talk to Rogers quickly. Now back behind the dish. The 0-1 pitch to Wilson. Wilson swings. This should end the ball. No, will not. High fly ball. That one fooled me. This one is out of here. And the way they've been doing it this season, they win it. Or they do not win it, but they go ahead. It is 4-3. I really thought that one was going to stay in the park. I'm so used to out of the park baseball. But this one gone 341 feet by Chief Wilson, who must have up in heaven heard my thing about the anomalous season. All right, Donnie Bush struck out his last time up. He is 1 for 3, 4-3. And the 1910s take the lead here for the first time in the ball game. Steve Rogers deals, and Bush sends this one right back to Steve Rogers, who makes the leaping grab. We go to the bottom of the ninth after 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors. And it will be Gary Carter, perhaps a pinch hitter for Steve Rogers, and then Tim Raines. So Walsh looking strong at 118 pitches. And I'm not seeing any calls, so we're going to allow Walsh to stay in at least for now. Let's see. In this kind of league, do kind of care about pitch counts a little bit. He's still good to go. Let's see what he can do here. Carter is 0 for 2, and in the 7th he walked. Well, they did happen, right? How about it? That's baseball. That is baseball. The 0-2 pitch to Gary Carter. Strike him out. Drop ball by Ray Schalk, but he fires down and gets Gary Carter. So the drop K, but 1 out. And here's Steve Rogers, 0 for 3. So this Friday, Pocket Pennant Run 3. How many people are ordering it? Say yes, or put up the pink hand of despair or something. Yep, and a lot of the home runs were inside the park jogs. Although some guys could hit them like legit homers too. Well, they were legit, but you know what I mean. Gabby Kravitz, Sam Crawford had power. Honus Wagner had power. But yeah, Wilson had some speed. All right, it's going to be Don Mattingly into pinch hit, and he promptly comes on base hit. Cobb will pick that up in left center and fire it into Donnie Bush. So now the tying run is aboard, and Tim Raines is up. He is 1 for 4. He's saving a throwing error back in the 7th, but opened the game with a home run. Walsh rubbing up the ball, checks Donnie ball game at first. And here's the pitch to Raines. And Raines grounds this to Doyle, Doyle to Bush, but they're not going to turn 2. So Tim Raines on, 2 down, and here is Ryne Sandberg, 2 for 4. Infield single scoring Tim Raines back in the 7th. Ed Walsh throws over Tim Raines. A threat to steal, but he is back safely. Tim Raines, 68 steals last season, 3 on the young season thus far. Ed Walsh with a 3-1 delivery. Sandberg sends this to center field. Ty Cobb has it. And in dramatic fashion, the Cobbs come back and take this one 4-3. Nice ball game. Let's do a recap here. So the 1910 Cobbs squad go to 5 wins and 1 losses. The 1980s fall to 2 and 4. For the Cobbs, 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. For the 1980s, 3 runs, 10 hits, no errors. Ed Walsh will go to 2-0. Steve Rogers, who really pitched a fine game until the 9th, goes to 0-2. Let's look at our pitching. So both pitchers going all the way. Ed Walsh, 9 innings pitched, 10 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, gave up a home run, the Tim Raines shot. 2 walks and 6 strikeouts, an earned run average of 2.50. Steve Rogers, 9 innings pitched, 8 hits, 4 runs, all earned, a home run. That one to Chief Wilson, no walks, 4 strikeouts. And his ERA at least coming down a bit. It's 8.25. Let's check our miscellaneous. So McGee, Cobb, Evans, Boggs all doubled home runs. Chief Wilson and Tim Raines. Donnie Bush had the game's only steal, RBI in this game. Sherry McGee with his 7th, Kenichi with his 2nd, Chief Wilson with 2 RBI in this game for 3 total, 1 of the season. Keith Hernandez had 1, as did Tim Raines and Ryne Sandberg. Also, great plays by Cobb, Rogers, Carter, Evans, and Sandberg. Poor plays by Kenichi and Wilson. The 1910s stranded 3, and the 1980s stranded 8. Your MVP of the game is Ed Walsh. So nothing really to recap about. There we go. So Chief Wilson coming through big time in the 9th. And that's your ball game. All right, guys. So Status Pro Hockey might have seasons dating back to 1917. Oh, you're welcome, Legends. Thank you for coming in. And thank all of you for coming in. And hopefully you had a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Now we go into the stretch run to Christmas. Christmas just a day under a month away. I'm going to thank World's Worst Gamer for coming in, Cousin Ken Castro, Legend Sports Universe, Mike Silva, SGJ, Jamie, Clinton Parks. So we had a good crowd in here tonight. Thank you guys very, very, very much. Todd B was here. JT Dutch also gracing us with his presence. Dwayne Martz. Chris Slovic. So always looking forward. Chris is going to be back in the United States. David Lando was with us. Chris is going to be back 15 December. John DFW, and guys, remember, thank John, please, for all the work he does in that Discord. Did we get everybody? Sakuni 007 was here. My favorite Irishman, Dan Burke, was here. And I think we got Big Clue was here for a while. Suspiciously silent later in the chat, probably hitting the hay early. I don't blame him. Bernie Strom was in here. Thank you. And World's Worst Gamer was first with a bonjour. So I'm going to copy. Well, there's a link that he sent. I don't know if he's still here. A link to a thing called 123 Baseball. So I'm going to check that out. All right. So, and Legends letting us know. I always like to scroll down at the end because people usually leave some comments at the very end. He says, tomorrow Franchise Stars Baseball League Season 2 pair of games, the American League Division Series, Yankees Indians at noon. And then, I'll be able to catch the Red Sox A's around 10 p.m. tomorrow night. I should hopefully be home in time to catch that one. And go A's. I want them to take it all the way and repeat. So definitely check it out. And with that being said, guys, until we meet again, we'll see you around the batting cage. Good night.